get ready.
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey tea sippers, I hope everybody's doing good. I had a great weekend. I hope you guys did too. It's kind of rainy and gloomy today. So I am here with the voiceover. We're going to talk about a few different stories right now. So one of the things I want to get about is this whole Chrisean Rock situation. A lot of people have been talking about this on social media. Now, if you guys remember back in June, honey, Chrisean Rock, she went to jail to go support her man, aka Blueface, and she knew she had a warrant for her arrest, but she didn't care. She went down there with her best friend and the baby, and as she went to go into the, courthouse, she was arrested by sheriff's deputies, okay? They came and got her, snatched her ass up.
What happened, Christine?
I don't fucking know. They saying I got a whole nother case caught up in fucking downtown. I don't even be downtown.
And she's been in jail ever since. Blueface is currently in jail due to gun charges and violating probation and all that foolishness. So what's going on with Chrisean is that people had assumed that she'd be out by now. And even her sister took to social media and she wrote this. She said, Chrisean will be home sooner than later. Yes, I want to thank you, Jesus. I want to be there to witness y'all's reunion. I know y'all miss each other so bad. Happy 11 months, Chrisean. We love you so much. Always praying for y'all. So her baby's now 11 months old, and we just found out over the weekend that Chrisean is currently still in custody, and this time she is facing up to 8 years in prison. So this entire situation is crazy. So what's being stated is this. Chrisean Rock is currently being held in custody at the Northeast Oklahoma Community Corrections Center. Documents revealed that the reality TV star was detained on a CDS charge and is facing 8 years in prison. CDS stands for Controlled Dangerous Substances. The 24-year-old was arrested and extradited for failure to display tax stamps on the CDS and possession of CDS with the intent to distribute. Per Oklahoma law, CDS drugs include narcotics, amphetamines, and other opiates. A law firm in Oklahoma revealed that possessing CDS or marijuana with the intent to distribute can result in felons facing a minimum of 2 years in prison and a possible $20,000 fine. Now, on top of these drug charges, let's also not forget that she also has charges on her for her physical assault of backup singer James Wright. Now, that happened back in January. James definitely went ahead and he had pressed charges on Chrisean. So that's another case that she's also facing. And what was so sad is that Chrisean literally had absolutely no remorse. Remember, James did nothing to her. He was minding his black ass business when she hauled off and punched him. And so when he not only pressed charges, decided to sue Chrisean, this is what Chrisean wrote on social media. She said, this big back bitch nigga think he finna get a cent out of me? Bitch, you know you just wasted your money on that damn lawsuit, right? So still not showing any remorse towards a victim which she hit and put hands on who did nothing to her. This whole situation is really sad. Blueface has been locked up literally for months now. She's not locked up. I believe her baby is with her side of the family. But a lot of fans were not here for this. And, a lot of people are calling her Chrisean Rock Bottom. And they're happy that she's locked up because folks are tired of her antics. They're also giving her the stupid ass nigga award. So again, she knew she had warrants and she raced down there to go support Blueface only to be locked up. These are her shenanigans coming back home to roost. Chrisean should have been just focusing on raising her baby and doing right. A lot of people thought that baby was going to change her, and the baby did not change her. She continued with the same antics, and now she has to face the consequences. Do I think she's going to end up getting 8 years? Probably not. But I do think that she needs to be sat down a bit because she's just been doing too much. Another person is also saying good riddance. Hope she gets all 8 years and more. Sick of seeing her dumbass on my timeline. So while a lot of people were praising her antics and her behavior, now we're seeing the consequences of those behaviors. And a lot of people do not feel bad for Chrisean at all. This is a girl who was very athletic, ran track and field. She was on all types of physical game shows. She could have went so much further in life, but she literally got attached to Blueface and allowed Blueface and his antics to get her hooked on drugs and alcohol and basically bring her down. And now we see where she's at, fast forward 5 years later. So, good luck to Chrisean. My only concern is Chrisean Jr. Hopefully he gets into a loving home and he has somebody who's able to take care of him and give him the care and the attention that he needs, because it's very apparent that that baby has some type of issues and he needs full-time attention. He does not need a mother running around here, high out her mind, chasing, fame. He needs to be attended to. It's really sad how their entire love story, quote unquote, has ended up with both parents being locked up. So now in other news, I want to talk about the Brittany Renner situation. So we've had a lot of celebrities, switching up their previous personas and the way that we were introduced to them. Brittany Renner, was known on the internet for sleeping with a lot of guys, having a baby by PJ Washington, and basically always trying to chase a bag. But over the past, few months, we've seen a new Brittany Renner, okay? And she's saying that she's changing and she wants to do better. And so Brittany is now walking around in a hijab. And a lot of people are believing that she converted to Islam. And it's, causing a big debate on social media. So I want to go ahead and play you guys these videos of Brittany in her hijab and talking about, trusting your wings.
First of all, hi. So I'm currently cleaning house. Out with the old, in with the new, manifesting a new wardrobe, inshallah. I have no idea how this is gonna look. I have contractual obligations, clothes to wear, posts to do, bills that have to be paid, and, showing up the best I can, right? Because I know that it's not gonna be perfect. I know that people may have a gripe. I mean, my arms are out, right? First of all, it's hot, and then I sweat like a puddle under my armpits. Not an excuse, but looking into Botox under my arms and finding clothes that are more aligned with where I'm headed, even if it's not to the book perfect. That's what this is all about for me, as I'm just gonna show up and give my best, and every day my best gets better. First of all, honey, you know what I've noticed? In any message I share, for the record, always applies to myself. Like, I'm not exempt just because I'm sharing it. So I've noticed that we want to sign your sign. Mind you, we've been getting dreams, songs, angel numbers. That post that came across our feed that just so happened to apply to our situation. But we want the sign to be on the billboard in big red letters, lit up with glitter. And it's almost as if we're waiting for this moment to feel ready. You're not going to feel ready for something you've never done. That's why you have to get pushed. We're also waiting for us to trust the outside world and the people in it. But a bird doesn't trust the branch it lands on. It trusts its wings. And you should do the same.
All right, so y'all just heard both those videos, and to me it looks like she's converted to something. Assuming it's Islam, but with a lot of these social media influencers, you never know what they're trying to do. If they're trying to be serious about converting to a religion, or if they're just looking for attention. But at the end of the day, I'm going to let Allah guide her footsteps. And, we'll just see the fruit that it bears. But I do find it very interesting that a year ago, around this time, in August of 2023, she looked like she was high as a kite dancing on Charleston White. Who remembers this?
Go ahead. Go ahead and get the pig poker out. That's right. For to be
All right. Okay.
It is fucking soft. Oh.
Ma'am, I did nothing but bless you. I called you nothing but ma'am and Miss Renner.
So that was Brittany Renner a year ago. But she says, she's switching up and she's dressing more modestly. She's getting rid of a lot of her sexy clothing and stuff like that. So the same way, I gave Angela White, a.k.a. Black China, some grace. We'll just have to wait and see the fruit that it bears. But it's very interesting how, she went from being the town, whore, like she would call herself, to being red pilled. She was rolling with Andrew Tate for a while. We've also seen Andrew Tate, convert to Islam as well. So hopefully Brittany is taking this seriously, because the Muslims don't play. And if you're not really converting, if you're just looking to do this for a show, they will come for your ass. Okay, so I'm gonna give her a chance to do what she got to do, and then we'll just watch the fruit that it bears. Hopefully, she's taking this seriously. But I find it very telling though that a lot of the girls who are introduced to us on social media by using their bodies and messing with men for money, obviously that lifestyle does not last. You can only do that for so long because there's always going to be a younger girl, a prettier girl, etc. We've seen this with, Black China. We've seen this with Amber Rose, not Brittany Renner. Black China is now a newfound Christian. Amber Rose is a staunch, Republican. She's Team Trump. And now we have Brittany Renner going from red pill to Muslim. So again, hopefully these women are on a sincere journey. I don't want to judge anybody's walk, but hopefully this journey is sincere and they come out being better people. But a lot of people are giving her the side eye. Folks are saying, she'll be back to her old self in 2 months. At the end of the day, it's a spiritual journey, and a spiritual journey is for that individual. But what I will also say is that when you are in that journey and you're finding yourself and you're becoming a better person, it doesn't necessarily need to be showcased 24/7 on social media. Just go through your journey in peace. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody a conversation. You don't own anybody's shit. You have one life to live, and if people don't like the moves that they're making, they can kick rock. So good luck to Brittany. Like I said, I hope she takes this seriously and she's not just doing this for show. So now in other news, we got to talk about this Jon B tea. So now if you guys remember, Jon B was everybody's favorite white boy, honey, before Eminem. He was an R&B singer back in the day, and he had a song with Tupac. He also had a song called They Don't Know. And it was a dope song. And recently, like 2 years ago, Gunna and Chloe Bailey, they had remixed it. Now, I never heard the remix until Jon B said what he said, because I wasn't checking for Gunna or Chloe. But Jon B said he wasn't feeling the remix. I want y'all to go ahead and listen to what Jon B had to say about the situation right here.
We're going to do a deep dive of They Don't Know.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
yeah.
They Don't Know, I'm aware, I know Tim Kelly or Tim and Bob was a part of that one as well, right?
Oh, yeah, they did the track.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah. So I play this song.
What an amazing
man.
track.
Come on, man.
To this day.
I play that song, and the guitar lick still has me in a chokehold.
The guitar lick is okay. So you heard the new Robin Thicke song?
His newest single? I have not.
Yeah, it's the They Don't Know guitar lick.
Come on.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it right now on this podcast. Like, listen to it. It has a bang, ding, 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 bang, bang. At somewhere. Look, it may not be exactly the same thing.
It's a derivative.
Robin, it's in there. It goes bang, ding, ding, ding. Right? You know, bro. You know, because you love that song, don't you? All right, yeah, you do. I love your song too. Your songs.
I love that.
But it went bing, didn't it? It went bing, ding, ding.
Come on.
Let me talk about shit. No,
I love
but no, it does get sampled every year.
Sure.
By someone. Last year was Gunna and Chloe Bailey.
That's right.
They put that Ratchet record out that I couldn't stand.
Oh man.
And I wish they never did.
Man.
And actually never got my rights to do that record either. So we gotta holler about that.
That's some business to take care
That's
of.
some business shit we gotta handle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know what? It's all a compliment to what we did.
Sure.
That's Tim and Bob compliment. That's
No
me
doubt.
compliment. But at the same time, my lane is my lane, and my area is my area, and I earned that.
No doubt.
Just like if you made a hit in your area and you do your song, whatever it is, I'm not gonna just come into your area, take your joint, and make it mine, and then I pay you or whatever. So, that being
That's
said,
right. That's your
but I've been
creation.
very, very humble about my whole approach to this whole music industry thing.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to be rah-rah and come out and say a lot of different things, I could be Cat Williams right now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be thought of as a guy who's disenfranchised or sort of like, complacent in any way.
Sure.
I'm very blessed.
Absolutely.
And I'm on top. I'm up.
That's right. That's right.
All right, y'all just heard what Jon B had to say. Now, a lot of black folks are calling themselves mad because he used the word ratchet. Like, why do y'all care? Y'all act like he sat up there and said the N-word. If he feels like the song is ratchet and he really didn't like his song being attached to the ratchetness, he has a right to feel that way. That is his song. He wrote the lyrics to it. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I'm tired of Gen Z, okay? And probably soon to be Gen Alpha. I'm tired of y'all messing with our songs from the 90s. Leave shit well enough alone. Like, some classics don't need to be touched. It don't need to be remixed. I ran to go watch this song with Gunna and Chloe, and to me it was ratchet. I didn't like it. You know, yeah, Chloe has a decent voice, but I didn't like the song. Y'all go ahead and check out this snippet.
I'll fuck you right, I will. I'll fuck you right, I will.
All right, y'all just heard that. Like I said, and I'm keeping the same energy. I'm not just going after Chloe and Gunna. I felt the same way when Julio Fulio fucked up Fantasia for me. When I See You was literally one of my favorite songs. Y'all heard me singing it in Puerto Rico, okay? So I don't like the fact that now when I hear that beat, I got to think about Julio Fulio and his foolishness and him talking about 23 and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with Fantasia.
You always on my mind, always on my mind. When I ride through the east side, I want to see you.
Also, Vanessa Carlton, that was a great song. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound. They literally, Young and Ace and them, messed up a classic. Now when I hear it, I think about them coming in, talking about shooting people in their face. What you cooking?
When I see you, I'ma push your shit back, boy.
This is, please, for the love of everything holy, leave our music alone. Stop sampling. Come up with some new shit, okay? Now I understand why a lot of older people hated Diddy back in the day, or back when he was Puffy, because he used to sample everything. And you know, me being a kid, I thought Juicy was an original. And then I realized that it was a sample. It was a remake. And Diddy did this all through the 90s, and a lot of, you know, older folks used to be mad because he would take, you know, a lot of older songs that were classics and remix them, and now we're the old folks saying this shit to Gen Z. But it is annoying. You know what I'm saying? Leave good songs alone. Everything don't need a remix. Everything doesn't need a revitalization. People are saying, oh, he should be grateful that the youth are even thinking about his song. He doesn't need to be grateful about anything as far as them remixing his song. His song is a classic. It's in my playlist. So when it comes up, I sing to the top of my lungs. Like, that's my jam. So I think enough people just appreciate the original in its original form. You know, so people saying that he's racist for calling it ratchet, that is his opinion. And to keep it real, I don't think this song was even that popular because it's my first time even hearing the song. Maybe y'all heard it, maybe it's in your rotation, but I have never heard of it until he said something. But I don't think, from what I'm seeing in the comments, that a lot of people cared for the song either. But yeah, I just think that at this point, the remixes need to just, you know, y'all need to simmer down with the remixes. I'm over it. I want people to make good music, original music, their own beats from their own head and heart and stuff like that, and stop going about sampling everything, because everything is not a compliment. I'm sorry. When I see you, the Julio Fulio version, that is not a compliment to Fantasia. Just like when OT Genesis remixed Keisha Cole's song and she was very upset. That's not an ode to her song when you're remixing a love song and you're just talking about cripping. So I definitely get where Jon B is coming from. So now when I tell y'all this world is a stage, I do not know what is going on in politics right now, but everything is just over the top and crazy. So not too long ago, we had Kamala Harris. She had a Democratic rally down in Atlanta. And she had Meg Thee Stallion out there twerking, talking about hotties for Kamala. Then hoes for Kamala started trending. We had Quavo up there talking about gun violence. Meanwhile, that's all he raps about. Now, Adin Ross, the famous streamer, has invited Donald Trump to sit down with him. And as Donald Trump is walking in, he's walking into the song Many Men by 50 Cent. So it went from being a meme online to Donald Trump literally walking into this song. Y'all go ahead and check this out. This is #1 right now, trending on Twitter. All right, so y'all just watched those clips. And then on top of that, Adin Ross, he arrived at Mar-a-Lago with the Cybertruck that he gift wrapped for Donald Trump for the live stream. So this whole situation is insane. It's very interesting to see how they are both pandering to the youth, okay? Again, for me, this is cute. Just like, you know, the hotties up there. Yeah, that was cute. That was interesting, but I'm here for the policies. And it looks like they had a decent discussion. I haven't watched the full stream, but it is very interesting how a lot of younger people are now gravitating towards conservatism. A lot of them, you know, from the streamers to the rappers. I know Waka Flocka is a big Trump supporter, 50 Cent, of course. So
I got Joe Biden voters to get out. See y'all! I'm gonna holler at y'all. We're gonna see y'all at the bingo game. We're gonna party right now for our fucking President T24, man. It's a motherfucking party. What's up?
So this political season is going to be very, very interesting. But they are definitely deifying him. That assassination attempt has definitely made him even more popular with a lot of people. So now, last but not least, there's a lot of shit going down in the UK, honey. So shout out to all my UK subscribers. People have been sending me these riots, wanting to know my opinion of it. I think a lot of stuff that's going down in the UK is sad, but this has been brewing. And if you don't understand, whatever happens in one side of the world ends up trickling over here and vice versa. Y'all better wake up, because what I'm seeing in the UK, I can definitely see happening here in America. So what went down is that basically over the weekend, a bunch of rioters went to a hotel, and it was like a hotel that was housing asylum seekers. And so the reason why people are upset is that 6 days ago in the UK, 3 young girls, they were at a Taylor Swift themed dance party at their dance studio on July 29th, which is ironic enough is my birthday. And these 3 babies, they were 6, 7, and 9, I believe, and they were stabbed. There was some lunatic running around stabbing children. And so these 3 babies ended up dying, and this caused a lot of controversy. This was about 6 days ago. So y'all go ahead and check out this news clip really quick.
Good evening. The country came face to face with the anguish of the Southport knife attack today as the photos and names of its 3 young victims were released. B.B. King, Elsie Stankham and Alice Aguiar were aged just 6, 7 and 9, their lives taken as they danced at a Taylor Swift-themed holiday club. Today, the musician spoke for the first time, saying she was at a complete loss for words. That same shock was reflected right across the town of Southport, where thousands joined a silent vigil this evening. But there has also been anger. Tonight, there have been violent clashes between protesters and police near the scene of the attack. It is a distressing end to a day filled with emotion in a community where the vast majority of residents have simply been trying to process how such innocent lives could have been taken with such violence.
9-year-old Alice da Silva Aguiar, 6-year-old B.B. King, and 7-year-old Elsie Stankham. 3 girls whose parents yesterday dropped them off at a holiday club and today released statements in their memory. Alice's family said, "Keep smiling and dancing like you love to do, our princess. Love from your hero, daddy and mummy." B.B. King's family said, "No words can describe the devastation that has hit our family as we try to deal with the loss of our little girl, B.B." And Elsie's head teacher said she was a kind and caring friend to all who met her and was adored by everyone in our community. Throughout the day, they were remembered by people they'd never met. Generations brought together in sorrow and anger at an attack which has hit too close to home.
It's the same room like my son played for hours in. People want more answers. People want to know what's going on. People aren't happy.
I had to take them out the club myself this summer because I don't feel like it's safe anymore.
The girls had been dancing to Taylor Swift when the attacker forced his way in. Today, she paid her own tribute, posting, "The horror of yesterday's attack is washing over me continuously, and I'm just completely in shock. I'm at a complete loss for how to ever convey my sympathies to these families." Close to where they'd been confronted with such horror, the emergency services were among those adding to a wall of flowers.
Thank you for the gifts to God.
Visiting them this afternoon, the Prime Minister said their actions had undoubtedly saved children's lives and said his thoughts were with the victims' families.
I'm a father and I cannot imagine what they are going through. But I also wanted to come here as quickly as possible to say a personal thank you face to face to all of you.
But later, after laying a wreath at the police cordon...
When are you going to change for our children? Our children are dying here because of you.
He was heckled, a measure of the discontent that was brewing here.
Is that it? Is that the time you've got for us?
Meanwhile, the police investigation continued, including at a house where a masked individual was filmed in footage obtained by ITV News, pacing around shortly before the attack. A 17-year-old boy remains in custody. In this place where emotions are so raw, most people's thoughts are with the families of the 3 girls who were killed and the 5 still critically ill in hospital. Ben Chapman, News at 10, Southport.
All right, so you guys just saw that clip. So a bunch of rumors, quote unquote, started online being fueled by disinformation. It stated that basically they were being told that these young girls were stabbed by an illegal Muslim immigrant. And so it caused there to be many major riots in cities like Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, and Sunderland, and even Bristol in southern England, as well as Belfast in Northern Ireland. So this is like the worst breakout of public disorder in more than a decade. And so it caused the UK Prime Minister, his name is Keir Starmer, and he called it, right-wing thuggery. So they really fucked up some shit. They were not having it. And so now it's coming out that it wasn't a Muslim man, that it was a UK person that did it, somebody who was born in the UK. So I want you guys to go ahead and check this out.
Anti-immigration rioters attack a hotel in Rotherham as the violence grows and the Prime Minister calls out far-right thuggery.
Far-right thuggery. To those who feel targeted because of the colour of your skin or your faith, I know how frightening this must be. I want you to know that this violent mob do not represent our country.
Good evening. Even as the Prime Minister was condemning a wave of violence that he said singled out Muslims and other ethnic minorities, it was still unfolding. In Rotherham, rioters shouted, "Get them out," broke windows, and some appeared to smash their way inside a hotel housing asylum seekers. Chairs and fence posts were thrown at police, who were continuing to deal with disorder outside the Holiday Inn hotel. We'll be live in Middlesbrough tonight, where some 300 protesters gathered at the town's cenotaph with chants of "We want our country back." It follows yesterday's unrest in several towns and cities across England and Northern Ireland. We also report from Liverpool on what the police called a night of deplorable violence in which 23 people were arrested. Well, the violence escalated rapidly in Rotherham this afternoon as rioters attacked a hotel housing asylum seekers. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said police had full government support for the strongest action against those responsible.
Early afternoon, hundreds had gathered in Middlesbrough's city centre. Everyone we spoke to condemned the violence, hated the term hard right. They just feel immigration's out of control, opinions forceful, and to many fanciful.
It's our country and we're getting pushed out. I understand how the native Indians felt in America now, because that's what the white man did, went and pushed them out. Only it's the white man getting pushed out of this country.
Well, I hope everything goes peacefully. I think that's what the majority of the families and that have come here today is for. Peaceful demonstrations, no riots. We don't want to be like everybody else labelled far right.
So first, this man let his flag do the talking.
There's been a lot of aggro, there's been a lot of trouble. That can't be right.
No, it isn't right. We're not condoning it, but people...
Do you condemn it?
I condemn it, but what I'm saying is people now are at boiling point.
First, a moment's silence for the 3 girls murdered in Southport. And then the march. Along the city's main Linthorpe Road, scuffles with riot police as one group tried to break the police cordon. City centre mosques asked worshippers to stay away this weekend because of safety fears. We witnessed several arrests. The police say the total is 16 so far.
And so the familiar pattern unfolds. The crowd now swelled to close on 1,000 people or more. It's true, some abhor the violence, they condemn it, but hundreds are intent on having a fight.
A number of vehicles were attacked today and 3 burned out in a suburb in the early hours. And at a number of points, bricks, bottles and cans were thrown at the police lines. More than 4,000 extra police officers now stand ready, with the court system gearing up for round-the-clock hearings. In a country which now imprisons peaceful climate protesters for several years, how will the courts deal with this? Not much comfort, perhaps, to hard-working people, though, with businesses and livelihoods wrecked, now starting the laborious clean-up.
Well, yes, news just in late this afternoon. The Home Secretary has announced the national plan for beefing up security at mosques across the country. Here in Middlesbrough, pretty quiet, as you can see, people told to keep away from the city centre. The violence is continuing in the Linthorpe Road area. It's just over there. Police helicopter you can probably hear overhead. A telling moment just before we came on air right here. One of the march organisers, who we've come to know, came over and showed us a bucket full of cash collected at today's rally to be sent to the families of the victims tragically killed in Southport. He was visibly angry at what had happened, but he said, "The problem is, Alex, we can't control this. We're just a few people who want a peaceful rally. There's hundreds more who don't." A pretty telling comment from someone at the very centre of organising what started peacefully and continued in very different but all too familiar fashion now.
Thanks, Alex. Alex Thompson there for us in Middlesbrough. There was serious disorder in Liverpool last night too, where hundreds of rioters threw fireworks, attacked fire engines and set a library on fire. Our reporter Andrew Misra has been with members of the community as they began to clear up the damage.
A bonfire of violence and chaos in Liverpool last night. Hundreds of troublemakers gathered in the Walton area of the city.
Man, sick!
Pushed back by police from the mosque they were targeting, they turned their fury towards a library. Inside today, hard to imagine this place was called a Library of the Future when it reopened last year to help one of the country's most deprived communities. Now it's the community deprived of its services.
I get people are angry about things, but they've got it the wrong way of doing it. Like causing carnage to a library that all the local kids use. They can't use that now. We don't want people to think we're horrible people, but it's a horrible area because we're not. We're all about community. They just showed last night that they're nothing like what we actually are. They're a disgrace.
Locals were out in force this morning, determined to clean up their streets from the stain of last night's havoc.
Do you know what? I think a lot of the people that were rioting sort of forgotten the reason why they are.
Grief for 3 young girls tragically murdered less than a week ago has been seized upon by agitators looking for an excuse to damage and destroy.
The chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners said that arresting people is treating the symptom and not the cause. What do you say to that?
I want to be very clear here that she was not speaking on behalf of PCC. She was not speaking as chair. She was speaking in her own personal capacity. I am very clear that what we have seen over the last few days is not related to any ideological stance on any big issue. This is around violence, mindless, senseless violence, causing harm to our communities, and it's absolutely not something that we're going to tolerate.
A city that prides itself on tolerance and understanding is reeling from a day and night so at odds with its values.
All right, so you guys just saw that clip. So it is getting real out there, but let me say this. Everybody is only equating the death of the 3 children and the response to, the white UK residents being upset and rioting. But I'm noticing that nobody's really talking about, even before this whole situation, there's been a lot of drama going on in Europe in general. Even during the Olympics in France, there were riots breaking out. But if you guys don't know, over 2 weeks ago, there was a riot that went on in Leeds as well. So back on July 19th, what happened in Leeds, and this is a brown community. I don't, not to be disrespectful, I don't know all the ethnicities in the UK. I live here in the States. I'm assuming, I don't know, Pakistani, Muslim, Indian, some type of community of color, right? They're saying that the police came and they took the babies out because they weren't safe in the home and the kids were upset. And so there's kind of like a lot of tension in this community with the police. And so those people started rioting. It was a huge violent disorder. They were burning stuff down. Like I said, this was on July 19th. So I want you guys to go ahead and watch this video that was sparked after social workers took several children into custody.
Last night in Leeds, the anger was visceral. Before long, there were thousands out on the streets, most just watching. Some throwing whatever they could find. Outnumbered, the police left. We were told today to try and calm the situation. It would be several hours before they returned. You can hear a helicopter up above. That might, I guess, be a police helicopter. Did all this happen? What led to so much anger last night and still today among the Roma community in this part of Leeds? The catalyst, it seems, was a visit by social workers to a family in the area. A video of what happened next has been posted online. West Yorkshire Police say their officers helped move the social workers and children to a place of safety after the social workers were met with hostility.
You know what I think about your government, about your social worker now? That's rude. Shame, shame. I'm sorry what happened yesterday with this, yeah? We apologize for what happened with this. But the point is, what they did, how to come inside and to get a young kids, yeah?
With questions about community relations and about what will happen in the coming hours and days, at a press conference, the Mayor of West Yorkshire confirmed some arrests have already been made and called for calm.
Good stuff. It was so distressing for the community, and I want to publicly commend those people that through the night were on the streets ensuring that the outcome wasn't worse than the outcome that we saw.
Whoa, that's Councillor Motinali from Green Party trying to stop it.
All right, so you guys just saw that video. So what I find very interesting when I think about these two cases as of late in the UK is that when the brown folks were rioting, they were upset about things that happened to their children. I didn't see the Prime Minister come out and condemn this as thuggery, because I think both parts are wrong. Nobody should be rioting and burning down buildings and burning down your own community, right? But I think, you know, I see why people get upset. It's like you're denouncing this as far-right thuggery, but when the Muslims in the community do the same thing, it's crickets. Like, unless you're getting alerts for like overseas news, you probably would have missed this. I get a lot of different news sent to me, so I kind of try and stay abreast on top of a lot of shit outside of hip hop, politics, global stuff. And so I think instead of them, you know, solely focusing on this situation, they need to look at the big picture. There's definitely an immigration issue that's going on right now in the UK, and it is causing a lot of turmoil for the citizens there, or the white people there. I don't know the y'all's whole racial dynamics in the UK. I'm sorry. And they feel like the Muslims and the Africans are coming, you know, they're taking their jobs and everything else. There's nothing left for them. And so now you have a lot of these white folks joining a lot of these white supremacist groups, like Tommy Robinson leading rallies in the UK.
Patriots, Europe is sick, and it's happening in Great Britain. Okay? Get your people organised, unify your countries. Enough is enough. The line in the sand has been drawn. We're being replaced no longer.
And people are upset, and they're chanting, "Enough is enough." Okay, that is their chant now. Well, where does that come from? That comes from Donald Trump and his supporters. You know, they say enough is enough. Let's not forget January 6th and what's going on here in America. immigration debates, the wall, the Latinos coming in from Mexico and things like that. So that's what I'm saying. All of this stuff that's happening in the UK, I can definitely see this trickling down to America. Like, to me, I'm looking at a mirror of America with everything that's going on in the UK with their immigration issues, and the UK people there are mad at the Indians and the Muslims and, you know, those people coming over the border, sneaking over in boats and, you know, taking their jobs and their housing, and they're getting, you know, special treatment. They're getting put up in hotels. That's the same thing that's happening here in America. When people are saying that, you know, people are coming in from south of the border, they're getting put up in hotels in New York and in Chicago. Meanwhile, the American citizens can't find jobs, they can't find housing. Homelessness is, you know, growing, but they're housing illegal immigrants. So it's, I don't know, it's just very sad to watch this.
Migrant shelters. One of those hotels is the Row Hotel, where Carlos Arellano used to work. Carlos joins me now. You tell me, how do hotels make money from these migrants? Tell me.
Well, they charge the city, the taxpayer, they charge them double. You know, people think you're just paying for the room, but you're paying for the staff members. You walk into one of these hotels, and depending on how far you get, you can see a table of 10 staff members. But out of those 10 staff members, only 2 of them are really working. And the other 8 that are there, they're just hanging around, not doing the thing. And when I used to work there, I used to say, why do I need 10 people when I have 2 people only working? I need to get rid of some of these people. And the excuse was always the contract requires this many people. And it requires that many people, 10 of them, because they want to charge the city more from the taxpayer funds. So they upcharge anything they can. You know, if they say, oh, we're going to offer them homeschool teachers for the migrants who don't want to go send their kids to public school, the hotel's going to charge it to the city twice as much. So they find any little excuse to charge more money inside.
What's the condition of these hotels now from the inside? How are they being, I hate to say trashed, but are they in good condition or not?
Oh, no, they're ruined. They're never going to be what they once were. And that's why they keep renewing the contracts, because they don't want anyone to go in there and see what damage they've done to this place long term. Every other week there was power outages at the Row on the floor 23. So I used to go to work and they would say, you have 5 floors without electricity, go figure it out. And we would be without electricity because it would be 5 floors of illegal migrants wanting to plug in air fryers into their rooms. So can you just do the math, 5 floors worth of people. There's 5,000 people in this hotel spread across 28 floors. You have 5 floors trying to plug in air fryers. It's going to short circuit the electrical wires.
And there's 135 hotels in New York City which house migrants. There are 680 hotels altogether. 135 of them are just for migrants. That's not going to change, is it?
Oh, no, because the last thing I've been hearing when I've been out talking to migrants at the border is they tell each other, they coordinate, they tell each other, make sure your asylum hearing is in New York, because in New York, there's judges who lean a certain way that will give you more time. If you put your court hearing in Texas, you're going to screw yourself over. So they tell each other, leave your court hearing in New York, claim your free hotel once you get there, and then come back to Texas.
Like, this is what's going on right now globally, and it's scary. Because like I said, usually the UK is a pretty, they have their little issues here and there, right? Things will pop off, but, they're not allowed guns. The only thing they can do is stab people and throw rocks, right? But in America, it's a whole nother story, okay? Unfortunately, in America, folks love a good riot. And they will find any excuse to riot. And we also have guns here in America. So in America, it can turn even uglier than what's going on in the UK. So I just want everybody to just be aware of what is going on globally and understand that it can come to our shores, because there's a powder keg in this country that's ready to blow as well. And especially with the political scene and what's, going on right now in politics, it's very unnerving to just think about what could happen. So anyways, that's enough of my rant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love to hear from you guys, get y'all's opinions on all these stories. How do y'all feel about Chrisean looking at 8 years in prison? How do you feel about Brittany Renner's conversion to Islam? How do y'all feel about Jon B calling Chloe and Gunna's remake of his song Ratchet? And then how do you feel about Donald Trump doing a string with Adin Ross but walking into Many Men by 50 Cent? And then last but not least, how do you guys feel about all of the turmoil that's currently going on in the UK? And do you feel like this could happen in America as well? You know, if they don't figure out everything with the immigration policies. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Feel free to like this video. Feel free to share the video. Most importantly, make sure you still subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show.